Puerto Rico's minimum wage is about to be raised from $7.25, as it is the federal level in this country, to $8.50 in January of 2022. This will be the first time that the minimum wage in Puerto Rico has been raised in over 10 years. I'm an economist, so I do the following kind of calculation. Let's assume we're in January of the coming year, and the minimum wage is now $8.50 an hour in Puerto Rico. And let's compare what $8.50 in 2022 can buy with what $7.25 was able to buy 10 years ago, which is when it went into effect. Well, turns out you could buy more goods and services with $7.25 in 2011 than you will be able to afford with $8.50 an hour in 2022. Puerto Rico's minimum wage, and you'll see in a minute what that means, is therefore, in real terms of what it can afford for you to buy, is worth less next year when it's raised than it was 10 years ago. Treating any society like that is beyond words. But now let's look a little deeper. What's the poverty rate in Puerto Rico? Get ready. 44% of the citizens of that territory of the United States live in the official level of poverty. 44%. Maybe that's what it means to be a colony in the United States, of the United States. Maybe there's some ethics or morality to treating people like that. Well, there's one economic fact I want to bring to your attention about it because it says so much. Puerto Rico, as you know, is an island, which means everything that the people of Puerto Rico consume, or nearly everything, is produced somewhere else and then shipped. That's the key word, shipped to Puerto Rico. And it comes on a ship. And here's something you may not know. 100 years ago, in 1920, the Merchant Marine Act was passed by the Congress. Section 27 of that act, which came to be known as the Jones Act, has the following provision. Any ship moving goods from one part of the United States to another must be an American ship. In other words, you can't hire or use for freight shipping from another part of the world. The United States is a small player in the global shipping market. Most of the world's ships are not American. And guess what? It means that if you bring things to Puerto Rico from New York or New Orleans or anywhere, you have to pay much higher freight rates because the few American shippers have you. You can't bring anything into Puerto Rico from anywhere else. So everything's more expensive. That's it. You make more money for the shippers at the price of 44% of the people living in poverty. It is a behavior that makes the whole rest of the world look at the United States every time it talks about fair play, fair trade, belief in the free market. There's no free market in shipping to Puerto Rico, an island that depends on ships. There's only a controlled market. Controlled by whom? By the United States Congress. To the benefit of whom? Of the shippers in the United States who get the chance to price above the world market and rip off the poorest part of the country. It boggles the mind, this gap between the reality I've just laid out and the delusion. No wonder the people of the world become more interested in socialism, and the task of the conservatives gets harder.